Let's open it up. This is a huge day, huge day. We have 3 days until Shabbos, 117 until Hanukkah. And Moshe, you have the count for Purim. And we have 33 days until Rosh Hashanah, Baruch Hashem. And yeah, what is it, Moshe? You know? Okay, you know. But we're close.
1 minute till Purim. 1 second till Purim.
Right now.
1 second till Purim. Right now is Purim.
Right now. All right, so actually, mamash right now. The Tefillah b'Shem Kol Yisrael for Pesach or Uvim ben Yosef Asar Baruch Basi Hudi Smiram Dodo B'Eschanu Chavid Uram Bas Basa Shir Bas Basa Sinai Bro Uvim ben Mani and every neshama Klal Yisrael. You alone know how desperately we need help and how our soul needs help on every level. Our nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Our soul originates from the greatest heights, where she enjoyed the embrace of her Father in heaven. But to come down into this world, she has had to enter a gross material body like this. Woe for the son who has been exiled from his father's table. Remember, this is a real tefillah. Whoa. Your holy intention was for our own good, that we should be placed in a position of challenge in this lowly world. It is up to us to use our free will to overcome the physical limitations of our body and conquer the passions of our heart in order to come to you in this lowly world, which is so totally remote from your holiness. Bezrat Hashem Chavra. I mean, there's more to the tefillah, but it's a real one. And also, about the tefillah, they're coming out with the new Likutei Tefillah, the newly published, the new edition, the 2.0. It's the biggest one, and we have our own tefillah, which is very exciting. Tefillah 139. Baruch Hashem, we should be zocha, and we shall all get the set. So halacha l'maisa. Before we get into the halacha, we spoke about the significance of a minyan and significance of like going to a synagogue. That's, let's say you're traveling, and up to how many minutes should you travel outside of your way before or forwards to get to a synagogue to pray with 10 people. It's a very chashuv thing. And I was learning, this is a T4. You guys know what a T4 is? A T4 is like a subtle flex. So if I ever T4, then call me out every single time. But it's hilarious. Once you enter the T4 game, then you're T4ing everything. Everything's a T4, and you're calling everyone out on their T4s, and it's just so fun. It's so fun. A classic one is like, oh my gosh, I'm so like you see the Chabra Minyan, like you get to the Shachri. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I locked up the base medrash last night at 3 a.m. It's like I got limited hours of sleep. It's a subtle flex he's been learning until 3 a.m. Anyways, it's just fun. It's a fun game. So I was learning with my brother before the holy work of Reb Chaim Kramer, the potency of prayer. Literally goes line through line from our prayer book, from the Holy Siddur. It's unbelievable, and gives like the whole ideas from Rav Nachman, Rav Nassan, and the whole thing, and to give us more clarity and to give us more kavana. And he says, love your fellow like you love as yourself. And this is what we've been going over the past month. So he writes here, the Ari writes that prior to the prayers, a person should accept upon himself to love every Jew as he loves himself. This is halacha l'maisa. Rav Nassim points out that a person is likely to succeed in this world if he has correct advice. No, so what's the correct advice? How do we get this correct advice? When there is unity between people, when then people can dialogue with each other and look for the right thing to do for themselves and for others. It's not like we're trying to short end someone. We're trying to give the wrong advice to someone because we're competitive. No, we're all on the same page. And all this depends on the love and peace between people. Praying with a minyan, that's what we've been speaking about. A symbol of love and unity furthers this idea. So a quick halacha before the actual halacha, and not much more peace. So halacha l'maisa, we're not going to do the whole thing. It's a big one, so we're going to do part 2 tomorrow. It's a great mitzvah to pray in the Beit HaKnesset, the synagogue, or in a base medrash study hall, since they are holy places. Even if occasionally the congregational prayer session is canceled due to the lack of minyan, aka COVID, nevertheless, it is still a mitzvah to pray there even alone, without a minyan. Since there are holy places. Hey, Kevin, that was a big one. That was actually a big one. One who regularly learns in a base medrash should also pray with their congregation of at least 10, even though there's also a big Knesset in his city where there are more people praying. But one who does not regularly learn in the base medrash should rather pray in a Beit HaKnesset that has a multitude of people, since with the multitude of people is the glory of the king, the glory of Hashem is increased in proportion to the amount of people who are praying together. We'll do the part 2 tomorrow, but honestly, Samson, what does this remind you of? 8-minute daf, Rabbi Stefanski, the Daf Yomi Center. The Daf Yomi Center, Gavalt, they have a minyan before at 6:30 and a minyan after 8:30. Anyways, Gavalt stuff. Part 2 tomorrow. Chavra, Sichot 78. We're moving. Sichot 78. Isn't it crazy? We're just at Sichot Aleph the other day. And now we're here and it's still Aleph. And we're still trying to learn Aleph. And we're still trying to understand that Purim is right now. Hanukkah is right now. Shabbos is right now. All this energy is from everything. Gevalt. Rabbi Nachman says, fairness is in every place. Let's remember this line. Fairness is in every place. A person may commit every outrage, but he still has a sense of fairness. It may be blunted, but it still exists. There are people who can immediately sense any unfairness. Others do not sense it until after they've committed some wrong. Right? Understanding the fairness, seeing the fairness after doing something wrong. Still others feel no remorse until they have committed a number of offenses. So if we're continuing sinning, then we're finally going to get to the point where it's like, oh, wait, maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe we should be doing the opposite or doing some things differently. But each man has his limit. There is a degree of outrage that stimulates the sense of fairness in every man. So we're all understanding right now, as we're all playing the ukulele physically or in our hearts, what's going on here? What's going on here? And it literally in the Sikha comes with the story like this. I, Reb Nachman, was once in a small village. Let's open up our hearts, close our eyes, it's story time. Story time with the Chabura. I, Reb Nachman, was once in a small village. A military commander had come there demanding horses, saying they were needed to carry mail. The villagers bribed him to leave them in peace. They kept their horses, and the officer had some easy money. Soon one of his junior officers arrived. The commander convinced him that he should also try his trick. The second officer went to the villagers and also demanded horses for the mail that need to be delivered. He was also bribed and walked away with a tidy sum. A third officer then passed through the town. He was really in charge of the mail and was short several animals. He actually needed the horses and would not be satisfied with the bribe. A village chief went and pleaded before the commander. The people had already been paid 2 bribes, but would still have their horses taken. At this point, even the commander recognized the unfairness of the situation. He ordered the officer in charge of the mail to leave the villagers alone, and the horses were not taken. The same commander had already robbed the villagers without hesitation, without quorum. He'd even advised his junior officer to do the same. It took 2 crimes before his sense of fairness could even begin to function. It took 2 crimes. But by the 3rd time, even he realized that the situation was hardly fair. It was then that he ordered that the villagers should be left alone. Fairness exists everywhere, says Rav Nachman. It may be buried, but it can always be accessed. Chavra, I don't know if you guys know, Kobe Bryant, it would have been his 44th birthday today. Kobe Bryant teaches us many lessons every single day. So I'm just trying to relate it to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant in 2007 was sick of the Los Angeles Lakers. They didn't have a good team. They didn't have good players. So what did he do? He demanded a trade from the Los Angeles Lakers, the team that he grew up loving and watching, the team that he got traded for when he first got drafted and played for several seasons. Demanded a trade. The trade didn't work out. Caused some friction between him and the front office, between different players, wanting other players to be traded, wanting other players to be coming to the Lakers that couldn't. The whole thing. And he even got to a point of maybe ignoring or really just stating his displeasure with the organization. But in the end, In the end, what happened? He found fairness in the organization. The team that drafted me or traded for me when I got drafted, the team that brought me Shaquille O'Neal, the team that will continue to build players around me in championship teams, there is the fairness. So we should learn from Kobe Bryant. And what happened? He won 2 championships a couple of years later. Gewalt Kavra, we should always find the fairness in everything. Every action, be accountants, be the best accountants in the world, and just account our days every single day, what we did right, what we did wrong, what we could learn, what we could do better right now. Kavod Shabbos. Questions, comments, please feel free.
What does it mean, fairness?
It's a great question. Maybe clarity. Maybe finding the path of right or better for oneself. I don't know.
I don't understand.
If we're doing an action.
If you're saying the story with Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Maybe that was a bad example. Or maybe it was a good example.
You use this. Let's analyze.
Right.
Use the example of Kobe Bryant. They didn't do a good job. They weren't doing a good job. Fairness is quite subjective. What it means fairness to me, I don't think it really means anything. Everyone has their own definition, I think. It means there's an aspect of bittul, of nullification of the self. Fair means plain. Fair means equal, flat. When we want it to be flat, we say, okay, I know what I want. It's like Vinny Friedman of the Rosh Hashiva of Oraita says, when we're davening for things and we're doing things, we should ask ourselves 3 questions. And this is also in the definition of fair. And this is how we know if it's fair. Is what do I want? Why do I want it? Does Hashem want me to want it? And this is very deep. If we can answer all those questions properly, not like, why do I want it really? Not like I want to have a good time, like I want to buy a donut. Why do I want it? Because it tastes good. Does Hashem want me to want it? Probably not. Maybe. But to really answer them be'emesdik, that's this is how we know it's fair. Say, what do we want? Why do we want it? Does Hashem want me to want it? So we know what fair is. To me, I could be wrong though. I'm just here playing the uke. Oh, I thought that.
That was so good. I mean, that's beautiful. I need that so much. I'm actually gonna use that right now. Right now. Samson, you're the best. I'll see you soon. Just learn Rashi.
Just learn Rashi. My friends, if everyone's listening, just learn Rashi. The deepest steps are in the Rashi. Rashi wrote a book, wrote a commentary on the Torah, so that a 5-year-old will understand it and be puzzled and be questioned, and a 120-year-old would learn it and also have not the same questions, but different questions, but still puzzling. Explaining for a 5-year-old and a 120-year-old. You think it's not kosher to you? You think it's too great for you? No. Rashi says no, it's for the 5-year-old and 120-year-old. Anywhere in between. Just learn Rashi.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure. You're the best. All right, let's see you.
Thank you, Omar.